We're rounding up factors of production and the sector of the economy. When talking about sector of the economy, we're simply talking about how goods and services are produced in the given economy. So we have the primary sector, the secondary sector, and the tertiary sector. So we're going to start with the primary sector. For the primary sector, businesses in this sector extract raw materials from the earth. So they extract raw materials. That is the business they do. So example of businesses in this sector is agriculture. When we talk about agriculture, it simply means the rearing of, or the planting of crops, rearing of animals for the benefit of man. So whatever we eat comes from the farm produce. So that's what agriculture is. So businesses, people that do business in this area are in the primary sector. Do you understand agriculture here? So example of primary sector is agriculture. Businesses like farmers, they're in the agricultural sector, or they're in the primary sector. Then we have fishing, trapping and netting of fish. It's still part of the primary sector because it involves extracting from water, trapping fish from the water. So it's still part of the primary sector. Then we have forestry, where we get our tables and chairs from. Well, the tables and chairs are made from timber. So that is what forest is. So they manage forest to produce timber, which timber is used to convert into furniture. Do you understand that? Do you get it? Yes. Then we have mining and quarrying. Mining involves extraction of coal, diamond, rock from the ground. It's still part of the primary sector. So businesses that involve in this are part of the business in the primary sector. Example is also British Petroleum, which extracts oil before it's converted. So British Petroleum is part of, it involves the primary sector, secondary sector, and the tertiary sector. So, but we're still talking about the primary sector, which involves extraction from whatever is natural. I think it's clear. Is it clear? Yes. So we have the secondary sector. For the secondary sector, as soon as the primary sector is done, those raw materials have to be converted into finished goods. So the business or the sector that involves in the conversion of raw materials into finished goods are in the secondary sector. Do you understand what secondary sector is here? Okay. So examples of businesses here are those in the manufacturing, those that build houses, construction, those that computer accessories that put them together. They are still part of the secondary sector. Do you understand secondary sector? Yes. It's manufacturing. Then we have the tertiary sector. For the tertiary sector, it's about services. You know I told you about British Petroleum. They extract. Yes. That is part of the primary sector. They convert these oils, crude oil, into diesel, petrol, gas, and whatever they have to convert it to. That means British Petroleum is part of the secondary sector also. Then they have their stations that they sell to different cars and the rest. They are part of the tertiary sector. So the tertiary sector is the service sector. Is it clear? Yes. So examples of services in the tertiary sectors are the financial services. When we talk about financial services, we are talking about businesses that involve in finance. And finance is the disbursement of funds from the surplus units to the deficit units. That's what finance is. Though we don't need that now. But the point is that whatever involves money is done through the tertiary sector, which finances. We have the insurance company, we have the banks that we go to put our money there. They are part of the tertiary sector. Then the household services like the plumbing, the plumbers we have to fix our bathrooms and the rest. They are part of the household service. Then we have house maintenance, those that help us clean our house, gardens and the rest. They are part of the tertiary sector, household services. Then we have leisure. We need to travel abroad or the rest. Tourism, they are part of the tertiary sector. Do you understand leisure? Then we have professional services like accountants, lawyers. They offer professional services to their clients. They are part of the tertiary sector. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes. And the last one is transportation. We have the air, that's aeroplane. We have sea, the boats and the rest. We have the rail, the train, and the land for the taxi. They are all part of the tertiary sector. Any question about that? Then we have changes in the importance of different sectors. So over time, the sector will change based on economic situations and social situations. The sector will not remain the same, which means employment in each sector will change over time. Do you get the point I'm making here? Yes. Each sector, the primary sector, the secondary sector, the tertiary sector, they will change over time. And as soon as they change, it means employment in this sector will change. Yes, it's changing by force. No, based on economic, that's what I call it economic and social situation. this economic situation based on how the country becomes developed. Like, okay, like America, some 50 years ago, they were not in the tertiary sector like they have now. But now they're in the tertiary sector. Before now, they were in the manufacturing, in the secondary sector. So things have changed over time. So both economic and social changes will bring about it. Economic changes based on how developed the country become, and social changes based on the society itself. Our taste as people, what do we demand for now? What do we stop demanding for now? So that's what economic and social changes is about. Do we get it? Do you understand or not?
Yes.
So that's how it works, based on economic and social changes. So there's what we call deindustrialization. Before we go into deindustrialization, there's industrialization. Industrialization simply means a situation whereby a non-industrialized economy becomes industrialized. An economy that does not do manufacturing starts manufacturing. That is industrialization. Do you get what industrialization is? You start manufacturing. A country that does not manufacture cars start manufacturing cars.
Is there any example of a country?
Yeah. I just made an example now. Libya, maybe for example, Libya does not manufacture cars. We know they don't manufacture cars. But now, we have cars manufactured in Libya. That is industrialization. Also in Nigeria, we have a car manufacturing company in Nigeria. I forgot the name anyway. But we have a car manufacturing company in Nigeria. That is what industrialization is about. No, industrialization. Do you understand what industrialization is now?
Yes.
So industrialization simply means a non-industrialized economy, a non-industrialized country becomes industrialized. Like I made the example of Nigeria. Now we have manufacturing companies that manufacture cars in Nigeria. That is industrialization. Then let's go to deindustrialization. For deindustrialization, it simply means a decline in manufacturing. So changes over time happens based on how developed a country becomes. Like countries like America, European countries, they are more of services, not manufacturing. Do you get the point here? So they do more of services than manufacturing. So because manufacturing stopped, there's decline in manufacturing. It means the numbers of workers needed in the manufacturing sector would reduce. They will be moving to the tertiary sector. That's what we call mobility of labor. Do you understand? Occupational mobility of labor. Workers start moving from the tertiary, the primary sector or the secondary sector to the tertiary sector. And for developing countries, they might still be part of the primary sector because they have raw materials, but they are not converting these raw materials. So it depends on the country how developed they become. Do we get the point here? Yes. So what are the reasons why we have movement between the secondary sector and the primary sector to the tertiary sector? The first one I noticed is that people prefer to spend more on services rather than goods. These days, people start spending more on services. You wouldn't want to buy a CD. You would rather stream online. Yes or no? For music, nobody buys CDs anymore. People would rather stream online. Yes or no? So that is how changes over time started. Do you get the point? And the second point is about machines replacing workers or people. Now with advancement in technology, we don't need people to be part of the manufacturing sector anymore. Machines can do it, robots can do it. So big businesses start thinking about using equipment, machines to replace workers in the secondary sector. So that means you need to seek for employment in the tertiary sector. Do you understand decline now? So there's deindustrialization because businesses start thinking about machines to replace people. So employment in the secondary sector reduces. So people start thinking about adding more skills, knowledge to themselves so that they can be part of the tertiary sector. Because as soon as the country becomes developed, the country will have more of its population employed in the tertiary sector. Is it clear? Yes. Any questions about it? No. So that ends chapter 14. Then we have any questions? Okay. Only two, right? Okay. It says, which one of the following operates in the secondary sector? We have Santander, we have Qatar Airways, McDonald's, Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company, that's manufacturing, so they operate in the secondary sector. Is it clear? Are you here, please? Is it clear, please? Are you here? The question says, which of the following Which of the following business operates in the secondary sector? And when we talk about the secondary sector, we're talking about the conversion of raw materials or assembly of equipment or components of raw materials. So Santander, it's a service.
D.
Ford Motor Company is C. It's C. Ford Motor Company.
No, touch about 2.
No, it's still in question 1. So question 1 is C. Do you understand how it is C, right? Qatar Airways is service. McDonald's is also service. So the only manufacturing here is C. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then question 2. Which of the following is a factor of production? We have factors of production are resources that help in the production of goods and services. So the answer is what? D. Enterprise. Dental treatment is a service. It's not part of the factors of production. Wages is the reward for labor. Wages is what? The reward for labor. Then we have blood baker. It doesn't have anything to do with production. So the only factor of production we have here is enterprise. And the 4 factors of production are land, labor, capital, and space. Is it clear?
Yes.
Any question?
No.
Thank you. Welcome.